Workstation here in the beautiful North Wales coast. I'm Colin Jones and I'm one of the navigators on the all-weather lifeboat and helm on the inshore lifeboat, and I'm going to give you a quick tour of the lifeboat station. So one of the first things you see when you come in through the front doors of the boathouse is this tablet that's come from one of the original lifeboat stations here in Rhyl, North Wales, from the Vorrig Harbour. So from 1856 to 1899 the lifeboat station was in the Vorrig Harbour, and this was the tablet from the original boathouse. So here we are in the change room. This is where we keep all our personal protective equipment for if we're going out on the boats or on shore crew. So for the inshore lifeboat we will wear a thermal layer, then a dry suit on top, and then a life jacket and of course a helmet. For the all-weather lifeboat we wear a multiple part Helly Hansen kit which has multiple layers to keep us dry and warm when we're out on the all-weather lifeboat. Of course we would still be wearing our life jackets on there as well. For the tractor drivers, they have their own life jackets and of course their own personal protective equipment as well. So if the pages go off or we're going out on exercise, we'll all congregate in this room and start getting kitted up, ready to go. These are the helmets that the shore crew wear when either launching or recovering the all-weather lifeboat. The orange helmet is worn by the head launcher, where the yellow helmets are worn by the shore crew. This is so it's very visually clear to the operators of the equipment who's in charge and what role each crew member is doing. Also in the changing room we have the RCAMS display. This lets us know which crew members are attending when the pages go off. This then gives the launch authorities, the coxswain or the helm of the day, the information on who's attending so they can make the right decision on who to take to sea that day. So whilst the crew are assembling, the helm or the coxswain or the launch authority will be filling out the Sameach Briefing form. This gives us details of what we're going to, what the mission is, how we're going to execute it, and of course all the tide tables and stuff like that. So when we go to the shout we know what we're going to and how best to adapt to that situation. One of the great things about any boathouse around the UK, the RNLI, is the amount of history that the boathouses showcase. And here at Rhyl, we have no end of history hung on the walls and around the station. Some of this are the pictures we've got on the walls here, starting off with the Anthony Robert Marshall boat, the Rhyl, and here we have Joseph Hughes and his sons as a picture as well. So a fantastic amount of history. Coming around to the left-hand side, we've got John Fowkes. He was a lifeboat crew member and his father was the coxswain here. He died in 1906 and legend has it that he lived under Rhyl Pier, but he certainly died under Rhyl Pier. Here we are in the meeting room at the rear of the boathouse. This is where we hold operations meetings and training sessions throughout the year. Again, this room is filled full of history. We have lots of pictures of the old boats hung up on the walls. We also have a Spitfire picture which was donated to us by a local Spitfire pilot. We've got a old antiques captain's chair. We've had stuff donated to us from the wind farms and the baton which was donated by the Red Devils when they parachuted down onto Rhyl Beach. We've also got a model of Rhyl, one of our old lifeboats here, and we've got a lot more models up in the crew room which we'll show you later on in the video. Here we are in the training room, which is used for training on a regular basis. We have a chart table with all the necessary navigation equipment on here so we can practice our skills before going to sea. We also have ropes and cordage hung up on the ropes on the wall so we can come in here and practice our rope tying techniques. We also have a bookshelf full of literature on different aspects of being a crew member, and of course the computer station so we can access all the online education as well. We're now in the crew room, which is, for want of a better word, the hub of the boathouse. So this is where all the crew will congregate before an exercise, and we have our debriefs in here. And of course this is where we all typically hang out and discuss all the aspects of station life. This is the workstation here in the crew room, which is for the full-time staff to input all the admin activities. We also have a weather station, an AIS system which tracks all the local vessels in the area, and also a paging unit system. We're very fortunate to have a fantastic lookout station here in the crew room. So this covers a fantastic range we can see right down to Kilmore Bay to the end of Rhyl. And here we have a fantastic set of binoculars which can see quite far out to sea. We also have curtains, so during nighttime searches we can close these and have a better visual of the sea. Here we have our set of radios in the crew room. Now these help us communicate not only ship to shore, but we also communicate to the coast guards and the lifeguards once they're on duty. We have a scanner which scans multiple channels on the VHF, so we can keep an eye on a lot of different frequencies. We also have a chart table which helps the shore crew navigate and potentially find casualties. And we work as a team, so not only is the all-weather boat or the inshore lifeboat navigating, but also the shore crew are to help find casualties quicker. We also have a pair of Ross Royal Navy binoculars from the Second World War, which again are fantastic for keeping an eye out to sea. So one of the most important parts of the crew room obviously is the kettle what we've got just behind me here. So in the kitchen we have all the normal functions that you would have a normal kitchen, which is fantastic if we've been out for a long service and need to grab something warm when we get back ashore. We'd also like to thank the Cobb and Pen, which is the local lifeboat pub here in Rhyl, who donated quite a large part of the kitchen to the crew. Again, at any RNLI lifeboat station, you'll see an array of history, and here in the crew room we have the models from previous lifeboats on station. The first one is the Caroline Richardson, which was on station 1887 to 1939, and in the corner we've got one of the original Rollocks from the boat, which is an amazing piece of history to have. Moving on, we go on to the Jane Martin, and then below that we've got the Gordon Warren, which was on station 1939 to 1949. The Anthony Robert Marshall, which was on station 1949 to 1968, over to the Rhyl, and then finally moving on to the Mersey class lifeboat, which just left us, the Lil Cunningham. Another fantastic item that we've got here in the crew room is this steering pedestal, which was recovered from one of the wrecks off Rhyl called the Penstone, which is 12 miles north. This was recovered by the previous coxswain, Peter Robinson. Again, in the crew room we have a fantastic amount of history. We've got certificates from past services, pictures of previous coxswains, and we're also fortunate to have one of the silver medals that Harold Campini was awarded during 1962 for the first rescue to a hovercraft. Again, we've got more certificates of from the RNLI for the services performed here at Rhyl. One of the things about being a crew for the RNLI is the friendships that you make over the years. And here we have a picture of one of our former crew members, Gerald Hughes. And just below him we've got an antique Royal National Lifeboat telescope from 1864. Here we have the antique Admiral Fitzroy storm barometer, which gives indication of the weather outside. Again, we've got a lot more history here on the walls in the crew room. This photo is of Donald Colin Jones, who received the Bronze Medal for Gallantry for a service he performed. We've also got all the pictures of past coxswains here next to the upper steering position on the boat. Back in the public area of the boathouse, this is the viewing platform, which is open for public to come and have a look closer at the all-weather lifeboat. Firstly, coming up the stairs, you'll see a picture of one of our past crew members, Ben Hurst, who unfortunately passed away just over a year and a half ago. Again, going back, we make friendships and everyone becomes a big family member when they join the crew, so we've got Ben's photo there as a remembrance. On the viewing platform we've got sea safety messages, which you are more than welcome to take away with you. We also have a TV which displays previous shouts that we've done. Again, we've got lots of pictures of past crew members, service calls, and some of the fun we get up to on the events that we organise here at the lifeboat station. The viewing platform is just about to go through a new redesign, so there's going to be new graphics and information up here in the very near future. So thank you for joining us for the virtual tour of Rhyl Lifeboat Station. I hope you found it informative and enjoyable, and we look forward to welcoming you all to the station in the near future.